You started talking about going to a bowl way last summer, and there weren't a whole lot of believers, and the preseason polls didn't exactly back you up. What did you know that everybody else didn't know?
Well, I knew that this football team was going to be more mature. I knew we were going to be bigger and stronger, and I thought the experience factor and some of the growing pains that we'd gone through in our first two seasons were at a point where they had a chance to pay off. And the only way it was going to be able to pay off is if somebody gave them the freedom, the license, if you will, to say, hey, it's okay to expect to have success. Well, they weren't going to get it from the outside world. They needed to hear it from us, basically. That's the one voice that we had a chance to control. So that was something that we started talking with them about in January of last year. I made it public in the summer at the summer meetings because I felt that put a little more onus on us to make sure that we backed it up by it being a public goal. And I saw the things in fall camp that said, hey, we're going to have a chance. We needed this team to be able to have success early so we could be able to experience success and make those things happen. And it worked out very well.
Was there a pivotal game or a key moment that sticks in your mind?
Well, there were a few. We had a successful game against San Diego State, who had beaten us pretty good down at their place the year before. We did that here at home. I think the win at Northern Illinois was important to us because we won on the road against a bowl team from a year ago from another similar conference in the MAC. But probably the thing that told me we were ready was the following week after Northern Illinois, the Colorado State game here in the Dome. Because now that was some uncharted territory for this football team. We're playing in front of a packed dome that wasn't the rival game. It was somebody else. It was on national TV, and against Colorado State. They were both 3-1 going in that ball game. They had just gotten beaten by BYU in a tough ball game, and they had already beaten Nevada out of our conference. And we find ourselves down at halftime by a 2-score deficit, and we were able to play really well in the second half. We overcame that 2-score deficit and went on and won the ball game. And I think that had us prepared for the conference race. That was the point where I said this football team believes that it could win. At halftime we had to determine that because we didn't play very well in the first half. In fact, I asked him at halftime. I said, "You guys do know this is the Colorado State Rams that we're playing, not the Denver Broncos out of Colorado that we're playing, right?" And I think by winning that, overcoming that deficit, and winning that ball game, I think that is where this team came up with its identity. That we went in the season trying to see if we knew how to win. To this became a football team that thought it could overcome just about anything.
The Humanitarian Bowl, it's been called the best game of the bowl season. Are you surprised at just the scope of national attention that Idaho has gotten from that game?
Well, I'm very happy about it, and that was one of the things that was kind of one of our goals going into the ball game. The way it worked out added to it because of the excitement of the ball game. But one of the things that I stressed to our players going in that game, we're a few days before the game, and there were 26,000 seats already sold. Well, you figure at least 25,500 of those had to have been vandalized of some sort. We were going to be able to have the opportunity to play probably in front of a home crowd. So that's a great opportunity right there, man. Now, the thing that was very exciting to me, and I wanted to stress to our players, we're the only game being played that afternoon. The whole country wants to watch football, especially during the bowl season. The only game being played was the Humanitarian Bowl. The whole country wants to watch football. They're watching us play. A lot of these folks haven't seen us play before. So let's go out there and play as hard as we can, as long as we can, as fast as we can, and make the country fall in love with you because of the way that you play. And we got people's attention, I will say that, and we kept it entertaining, we kept it exciting. We had a fantastic finish, which probably was fitting for this football team, the way that some of our wins had come this year, and then it was that excitement really built things up, and we were the lead story on ESPN all the way up until they started playing new games again. There have been a lot of other things that have picked it up. It's being called the favorite bowl game of the season, and so that's a great thing. But as much as anything, also all the advertisement we got for the University of Idaho. I mean, that was a 4-hour commercial with an exclamation point the way we did it in that game. All the ESPN time since then. Those things have been huge, not just for our football program, but for the University of Idaho. And I think you're going to see an enrollment increase come next fall. I think there's a positive perception of the University of Idaho because they liked what they saw coming out of the football team. That was an opportunity. They had a chance to see something.
How about in terms of just the impact on recruiting? What kind of reaction are you and your coaches getting?
Well, in the recruiting sense, I think it really helps solidify the kids that have been committed to us. I think that that's been a positive. We're seeing that. We're being received very well. I mean, every school we walk into, the kids' homes that we're walking into that we're working on closing out right now, boy, they're excited and they would like to be a part of it. It's had a very, very positive influence, and we're finding ourselves in some battles that we may have a chance to win that we didn't necessarily have a chance to win before. So it's given us some help in getting built to where we want to be.
So how many times have you watched that final drive from the Humanitarian Bowl?
Oh, I've seen it. I've seen it about 3 or 4 times on purpose, and then I've been able to see it quite a few other times. Just on ESPN and Crunch Time and the different shows that it's been aired. But it was, it didn't take long to watch it either. It was only 26 seconds.
Okay, final question. When Hollywood comes and makes the movie on the Vandals season, what actor plays you?
How about Samuel L. Jackson?